Sig is out today, so I'm sitting in for him. My name's Lori Litzen. Do the roll call. Bill's gone. Note that Bill's gone, and of course Sig's gone. And Lindell is sitting in for the commissioners, county commission. I think that's it. If you need an agenda, there's agendas in the back, by the back doors. Have you guys had a chance to look at the previous minutes? And I'd entertain a motion for their approval.
So moved. Second.
So I have a motion and second. Did you get that, Jerry?
No.
It was Karen
Karen and Barb. Okay.
and Barb seconded. When we approve the agenda, we also approve the items that are on the consent calendar. And today, those are items 3 through 10. So, PJ?
PJ Conover, Director of Planning Department. The following items have been placed on the consent calendar for actions taken on all items in accordance with staff's recommendation by a single vote.
Hold on a sec, PJ.
Yes, ma'am.
When we did the approval of the minutes, I forgot to vote, right?
Oh, yep.
Sorry. We had a motion and a second, and is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Sorry, I'll
It's okay.
try not to forget to do that next time.
Consent calendar, take 2. The following items have been placed on the consent calendar for action to be taken on all items in accordance with staff's recommendation by a single vote. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar by any planning commissioner, staff member, or audience member for separate consideration. The findings of this planning commission are recommendations to the Pennington County Board of Commissioners, who will make the final decision. Item number 3, conditional use permit review 1102 for Jeff and Cheryl Devaney to review 2 internally illuminated on-premise signs within 1,500 feet of a residential zoning district and dwelling unit in a highway service district. Staff recommends the continuation of review CU 1102 to the March 23rd, 2015 Planning Commission meeting. Item number 4, conditional use permit review 1201 for Eric and Amy Wagner to review a gunsmithing business as a home occupation in a suburban residential district. Staff recommends approval of the extension of CUP 1201 with 8 conditions. Item number 5, conditional use permit review 1303 for Philip and Colleen Hunter to review an accessory structure, wood shed, and a greenhouse without a principal structure in a limited agriculture district. Staff recommends to continue the review of CUP 1303 to the April 13th, 2015 Planning Commission meeting. Item number 6, conditional use permit review 1403 for HomeQuest Incorporated, Mike Harmon, the agent, to review storage units to be located on the subject property in the highway service district. Staff recommends to continue the review of conditional use permit 1403 to the March 23rd Planning Commission meeting. Item number 7, conditional use permit review 1502 for Valerie Naylor to allow for an accessory structure prior to a principal structure, a garage in a general agriculture district. Staff recommends approval of CUP 1502 with 7 conditions. Item number 8, vacation of plat 1202 for Sugarland LLC to vacate the part of lots 10, 11, and 12 located in Pennington County of Pathfire 1 subdivision in a low-density residential district. Staff recommends to continue a vacation of plat 1402 to the March 9th, 2015 Planning Commission meeting. Item number 9, rezone 1501 for Dolores Shervin, DC, Scott Surveyors, the agent, to rezone 3.477 acres in a limited ag district. Staff recommends to continue rezone 1501 to the March 9th Planning Commission meeting. Item number 10, construction permit 1502, City of Rapid City, to complete the City of Rapid City's Longview Road water transmission main extension. The proposed project includes installation of 10,763 feet of new 16-inch city water main in Rapid Valley area along Longview Road. Staff recommends the approval of construction permit 1502 with 11 conditions, and staff has requests from the audience to pull 2 items.
Okay. So do I need to hear a motion for recommend of the agenda?
Madam Chair,
Yes, sorry, Lindell.
item 10 has, on the 11th condition, it says that this construction permit expires 1 from approval date. It doesn't say year or whatever. Do you need to pull that to make that correction?
Item 9 and 10 are the 2 that were recommended for approval from an audience member, so we'll be coming off.
Yep.
Oh, you're saying, okay, we do that next, okay.
Yep.
So don't worry about it right now, okay. Again, if you want to, you were saying that 13 and 14 are going to be continued also?
Yeah, but we won't add those to the consent calendar. We'll just
Okay.
address those in a regular.
And so we can't do that?
I don't think it'd be appropriate to move them over yet.
Okay, all right. So do I need a motion now to approve the agenda?
With 9 and 10 pulled.
Can I second it? Probably not. Can I second it? Okay. Okay, so we've approved the agenda. Now I guess we have a time, we can ask the audience now if there's anyone in the audience that wants some items pulled. Is that correct?
Yep,
And you're saying that someone in the audience does want 9 and 10 pulled?
that is correct.
Okay,
I don't know if there's any more after that.
okay, and we did not have any that we want to pulled, right? Okay, so I guess we'll,
Just 10 from Lindell, but that's coming
yeah,
off anyway.
it'll be part of that. So I guess we'll proceed to item 9 then?
Item 9, we do not have a presentation for you up on the screen.
Sorry.
Madam Chair, I don't think we voted on
And we have
the
to
mo-
vote, I'm sorry, I forget that part. Okay, let's vote on the agenda. Approval of the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Same sign, opposed? Okay, sorry.
No problem.
Said I wasn't going to forget that, but I did.
Ready for item 9?
Yes, I think so,
Okay.
unless I've missed something else.
Item 9 is a request from Dolores Shervin, the landowners of Dolores, as the trustee, to rezone approximately 3.15 acres in a 77-acre tract from limited ag to low-density residential. The applicant is looking to sell off some land in the future. This lot does lie within the 3-mile plating jurisdiction of the city of Rapid City, and this is basically finishing up some of their paperwork. The applicant came in for a rezone application to go down, like I said, from limited ag to low-density residential. The applicant feels that with the current land use of the property, that is the most appropriate step instead of going from limited ag all the way down to SRD, suburban residential. They were going to go down to low-density residential. When the applicant came in, they did not apply for a comprehensive plan amendment to change our comp plan, which is why it's being continued to allow time for that to be advertised.
Okay. Does the applicant wish to speak?
Okay,
Okay.
so since we've answered the question, staff recommends to continue rezone 1501 to the March 9th Planning Commission meeting.
So moved.
Can I get a name for the,
Oh. Okay.
and how do you spell your last name? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so Karen has a motion out there to continue this to the March 3rd planning meeting? Sorry, March 9th.
March 9th, yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? None? Okay, motion carries. Number 10.
Good morning, Brittany Molitor. Item 10 is a construction permit, 1502, to complete City of Rapid City's Longview Road Water Transmission Main Extension. The proposed project includes installation of 10,763 linear feet of new 16-inch city water main in the Rapid Valley area along Longview Road. More specifically, the water line is going to be installed from Anderson Road to the airport along the south portion of Longview. Currently, there have been temporary construction easements granted from affected property owners. There is one property owner where they're still working with to get those easements. But staff is recommending approval with 11 conditions, and then to change the 11th condition to include year. So I guess if there's any questions.
Okay. And we had this pulled because,
I believe there was someone from the audience that had a question. I do know that during the routing process, there was some concern on the haul route going down Longview Road, but we had worked that out with the highway department that they will handle that during the haul road agreement.
okay. Is there anyone from the public? Please state your name.
Good morning, my name is Tina Mullally. I live on Longview Road. I had a couple of questions regarding this particular item on the agenda. It states that the Hawthorne Ditch Company hopes the crossing of the ditch at Longview Road will be done as well as the crossing on Anderson Road. I don't quite understand that because I am a member on the Hawthorne Ditch Task Force, and I have I'm not quite sure that the Hawthorne Ditch has reported to the county commissioners on what their findings were on that. And the other item that I had a concern about was you have easement rights on all of the lands except for one, and two, I guess it is, that are still pending. And I believe that those two lots are also owned by members of the Hawthorne Ditch Company, I believe. And I'm concerned that you're wanting to go forward with something that is still pending and you haven't gotten the rights to do it on right now. The other item, number 11, I was with Lindell Peterson on expires in one, what? That was a little concern to me. The other thing I had was about the Hall Road agreement. The dirt that's coming out of that particular area, is it going to be hauled away to another area? And if that dirt is just to be dumped somewhere, I was wondering if there was a way to have an applicant be able to ask for that dirt and bring it down Longview Road.
Brittany, would you like to address this since you're our expert?
Sure.
Okay, so your first question related to
The Hawthorne Ditch.
Yeah.
They do have an agreement, I believe, with the city of Rapid City. That's what, we don't need another approval document, that they're working with, the engineers and the city on those crossings. That's why they had mentioned that they don't need another approval,
so
document on that.
It's included in that document?
I believe so, yes. That's between the Hawthorne Ditch Company and the city of Rapid City. The other is that as a condition of approval, that all the temporary construction easements are granted along that. There still is right-of-way along there, but I do know that they were trying to get 30 and 38-foot easements so they could, stockpile and do that along there.
And so you're saying as a condition of this permit, then they can't start until that's been obtained?
Correct. That's condition number 2, is the temporary construction easements are granted. And I have been in contact with Banner on that, and they are working with that landowner. And also, this goes out for bid, so there isn't a specific contractor right now that's identified. So what they're gonna do with the haul material, I don't know until that contractor, once that bid is gone out. And then, yes, I did add on number 11 to put year
Okay.
for that.
Now, one of the concerns I did have was where it says Hawthorne Ditch Hopes. I'm not quite sure what that means. You hope.
Yes, that was when I put these comments in there, that's their direct comment. So my assumption is that they're working together to get those crossings. All of that, the only condition that we put in there was that they try to work around the irrigation season so it doesn't impact
Right.
the people
Right.
downstream.
And so I guess what you're saying about your question about the dirt would be, once the contractor's been identified through the bid process, people that are interested in that will need to contact the contractor?
Right, and that has not been,
Determined
It
yet?
has not been determined. I do know, and that's why condition number 1, that they do have to submit a notice of intent when that contractor is selected, because the first phase of this project, the contractor was responsible. So when they had submitted their notice of intent and their SWIP and everything, they had submitted it to our office for the first phase. So it's similar in the second.
Okay.
So those are available in our office if you need to.
okay, yeah. And then I would probably talk to you about the Hawthorne Ditch Task Force
Okay,
on that concern that I have.
okay.
I think you also mentioned something about your concern about the Hall Road agreement. Didn't you say something about using Longview instead of? I thought that was
Just
part of your
for
comment.
purposes of hauling dirt to a specific location, I agree with changing the haul route from Longview to Anderson Road because of the safety issue regarding the Murphy Ranch Estate children and other children, because that road there is a speed limit of 50 miles an hour, and you're hauling a lot of dirt at 50 miles an hour is quite a bit. So I do agree with having the Hall Road going down Anderson Road. What I was asking about is if someone was able to get with the contractor to obtain that dirt
For a few loads or something?
for a few
Okay, all
loads,
right, okay.
to be able to go down Longview, I would like that to be able to have an option, because it would only go to Carlin Drive, which is only a half a mile down the road. It wouldn't hit Murphy Ranch Estates.
Okay, I just want to make sure your questions all get answered.
Yes.
Okay.
And just for clarification, I did speak about the haul route. I did speak to the highway department, and they are in concurrence to change that to Anderson Road.
Yeah. Yeah, that was thank you.
Brittany, do you know when the bids will be let? Do you have any sense of timing on this?
No, I don't. I think it was going to be the end of this month or the beginning of next. In the previous phase of this, they like to get this in place so this doesn't hold up, so the contractors as part of the process. A lot of the information is already in here, the SWIP, but the contractor actually has to, work with the notice of intent and have the responsible person and that, so.
Okay, thanks. And I think PJ wanted to move 13 and 14 up in the agenda, so we'll do those before 11. Is
We
that correct?
still don't, we
got
still
that
haven't
done
answered
with
the
it.
question on number 11, condition number 11, I don't believe.
Yeah, she did. Brittany said that she would change that to 1 year.
To 1 year?
Yeah, she noted
Okay.
that. Yeah,
Thank you.
sorry.
Thank you. So, Madam Chair, I move that construction permit CP 1502 be approved with the 11 conditions, with condition number 11 amended to state that the construction permit expires 1 year from the approval date.
Okay, so you're right, we need to do that. Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye?
Discussion.
Oh, sorry, discussion? I think we've had our discussion, but anything else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. I don't know why that's so hard to remember to do. It's like I guess, if you didn't agree, you would have said something already. That's why I guess it's hard for me to remember that. Okay, now we are past the consent calendar, and I understand you would like to address items 13 and 14
Yes, Madam Chair.
before we do the other ones.
Before we do the other ones, essentially because after the calendar was due, the staff reports have changed.
Okay.
So item 13, we'll do before,
Going to address number 11?
what's that?
We're going to do 13 and 14 first.
Okay, I'm out of sync then. Okay.
Do we need any sort of a motion to do that?
This is doing.
Do you guys know, or? I don't think so. I mean, we're just moving items on the calendar. On the agenda.
Well, usually when you pull the items off the consent calendar, you address those items first before you start in with the.
We did.
We did that already, though. We pulled 9 and 10 off the consent calendar, yeah.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
sorry. Apologize for that.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Item 13?
That's, unless someone has a problem with that. Okay.
Item 13 is a rezone 1412 and comprehensive plan amendment 1409 for Gordon and Carmen Abernathy to rezone 3.5 acres from low-density residential to suburban residential district, and to amend the Pennington County Comprehensive Plan to change the future land use from low-density residential to suburban residential district. County staff, the applicant, and the agent have been in several discussions and are still working on a viable solution. And as of this meeting today, we haven't come up with one, but they're definitely in discussion. So staff is recommending to continue rezone 1412 and comprehensive plan amendment 1409 to the March 9th, 2015 Planning Commission meeting with the applicant's concurrence.
All right.
Regular motions.
Do we need?
Madam Chair, I
Yes.
make a motion that item 13, rezone of RZ 14-12 and comprehensive plan amendment CA 1409 to rezone 3.5 acres from low-density residential to suburban residential district be continued to the March 9th meeting.
Correct.
Do I have a
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Oh, wait, discussion? Any other discussion on that? Hearing no discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 14 is Plan Unit Development Review 0204 for Deerfield Park condominiums to review an existing plan unit development. And staff is working with the original complaint. And this review started as a complaint, and from there were some owners of the condominiums that were possibly coming in to do a major or minor amendment to their PUD. Their time had passed. They did not come in to make either of those amendments. And so we're going back and reviewing the original complaint from the original complainant, and staff and the complainant are just asking for extra time to address all the concerns. So staff is recommending to continue PUD 0204 to the March 23rd, 2015 Planning Commission meeting with the applicant's concurrence.
Okay,
Madam Chair, make that motion.
second? Do you have a second? I'll second it. Do we have any discussion on that item? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Same, opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now we're going to do number 11.
Cassie Bolstead, Assistant Director of the Planning Department. Item number 11 is conditional use permit CU 1501 for Sherry Tonner to allow a single-wide mobile home to be used as a single-family residence while constructing a single-family residence in a general agricultural district. This land is currently zoned general agriculture. Minimum 40-acre lot size. It is 50 acres. Currently, it is vacant of, well, it's got a vacant single-family residence on it and a detached garage. Per the Department of Equalization records, this residence was built in 1955 and the garage was built in 2004. There is access off of Windmill Road through a private access easement through the property to the south. This applicant does plan to demolish the existing single-family residence and put her new single-family residence in that spot, but she does wish to use this vacant residence as storage until that time happens. This residence is basically gutted of anything. All that's in it right now is stud walls. So she does wish to use that as storage. She also does have several ordinance violation issues on her property pertaining to excess debris. However, she is actively working to clear this debris, has done a considerable amount already, and feels that she would be able to better complete it if she were on the property. She does have some outside issues that she is handling with the neighbor to try to complete the removal of all of the debris. So staff is recommending to approve the use or approve conditional use permit 1501 with 11 conditions.
Is the applicant here?
She is.
Okay. Does she wish to speak?
Good morning. I just want to assure
Please,
you that.
excuse me, please state your name.
Oh, Sherry Thomas.
record.
Sorry,
Thanks.
I'm new at this.
That's fine.
I just want to assure the board that my intent is to clean up the property. I purchased it through a foreclosure in July or June. I closed on it, and I had to go through the legal eviction process before I could really start. And the previous owner left a lot of stuff there, and it's going to take some time. But I have receipts for, the numerous loads. I've taken over 18 loads to the dump and 7 loads to scrap metal. A lot of what you see there is due to the process of cleaning it up, pulling stuff out of ravines and so on. So I just want to assure you that it is my intent to clean up the property. I have some legal issues with the prior owner. It just makes it take longer, having to have my lawyer intervene occasionally when he causes me problems with the easement and so on. So, do you have any questions or concerns that I could answer?
I have a question. You're going to use this sort of gutted structure for storage?
Yeah.
What will you store there?
Well, mostly stuff that I have in my garage now. I'm renting a 2,600 square foot house.
Oh.
And so to move into a single wide, and I'm not going to have a garage. You can see that garage isn't a garage. So I just moving like kayaks, bikes, lawnmower, that kind of thing in there to keep it out of the weather.
Right,
But-
and then you'll start construction?
I don't have a plan yet because, again, I've been dealing with all of this. Once I get out there, I'll continue to clean up. I wanted to get to know the property too before I decided on a building site and a floor plan, so.
Okay, so you're considering using the foundation from this existing
No,
structure?
well, probably not. The builders tell me that the foundation is good, it was put in later, but unless I can integrate it into the future floor plan, then that'll go away too. But the foundation is actually in good condition, it's the rest of the house that isn't.
Okay, so I was a little concerned that you were going to store stuff in a structure that you had to tear down before you built a new one
I
right on
am.
that on that spot.
I
Sounds like
am,
that
but
may
it's-
not be the case.
It's stuff that, when I start building, I can put it outside, again, kayaks and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
Any other concerns?
I have a question for Cassie.
Yes.
In the overhead picture that we have, it looks like there are a couple single wides already on the property. Is this an old overhead or?
I can answer that.
These right here. Sherry can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe those are trailers.
Yeah,
like
I did
semi-trailers.
that, I did that drawing to include with my application. And there is one single wide remaining, and the company that's gonna do my dirt work is gonna give me an estimate on removing that. And then the other ones that look like single wides are actually semi-trailers that the previous owner has removed.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Good luck.
Yeah,
like a lot
Feels
of
like you
work.
got a big job ahead.
Thanks.
It's like a lot of work. Okay, so I guess I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So moved. Do I need to state everything, or?
Oh, if you want to.
I'll do it. I move that we approve conditional use permit CU 15-01 to allow a single-wide mobile home to be used as a single-family residence while constructing a single-family residence in the general agricultural district.
There's a second?
And-
Second. Any discussion on this?
I just have a comment. I think that the applicant is doing everything possible to comply, and seems to be sterling in her intentions.
And we'll review this in 6 months according to the condition, so. Hearing no discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now we're on to number 12.
Item number 12 is construction permit CP 1501 to level an area for a helipad and to build a road. There's an approved conditional use permit on this property, CU 1423, for a helipad that was approved in June or July of last year. The affected property is located just on 16A towards Keystone. There were a few issues with this property. The contractor started work prior to the approval of this construction permit. Typically, we allow them to go up to 10,000 square feet of dirt work before this is approved. They have been notified of such. And they've also, as far as item number 8, or condition number 8, that legal access, they did have that granted to them on Friday. I spoke with the DOT and got that information. So staff is recommending approval of this construction permit, with 10 conditions, with 9 conditions, removing condition 8 because they have met that one, and to add a year after the 1 on this one also, on condition which will be number 9.
Is the applicant here?
Nope, I do not believe so. I did contact DENR on Friday, and they still haven't submitted their notice of intent for their stormwater. This was a challenging one because they do need to get that site stabilized. I had sent a letter to get that site stabilized because it's been dormant for more than 14 days. They were sent a letter to cease further disturbance and to get the site stabilized until the construction permit got approved. So in order for them to come into compliance, they need this construction permit. So,
Can I ask a question about
Sure.
the complaints that are received? Are you getting multiple complaints, or is it just the same person?
Multiple,
Okay, so it's not just the same person calling you up every week or every few days?
correct.
Okay.
What exactly is the nature of the complaint with regard to the fact that they started early and so forth, and,
It has more to do with the fact that there will be a helipad there
oh,
for the construction, or for the CUP.
It's not the actual construction then itself. So they're not complaining about the stormwater issues, they're complaining about they don't like what's gonna go there, huh?
Correct.
Okay.
And I did talk to DOT, also, they have to remove some material out of the right-of-way, also. So we'll do a site visit probably later this week, to ensure that they get their BMPs in place and get some of that material out of the right-of-way.
And I don't remember, this is the first time there's been activity at this site, right?
Correct.
This was a vacant lot, right?
Correct.
Okay. So it's not like they weren't coming into an existing place trying to do a reuse kind of thing?
No, there wasn't an existing approach there.
Yeah.
But if you can, let's see, the aerial. Let's see if there's something that was closer. There wasn't, if you can kind of see where the Highway 16A is. Yeah, let's see.
Because I remember after we approved this, I drove by there.
Yeah, there's that existing approach.
Oh, okay,
So they've gone off of that. They did get approval from the DOT to use it.
okay. Okay.
Is it proper to?
If you want to speak, please come
Okay.
up to the podium, yeah. And state your name.
Yes, I will. I'm John Bolin. I'm one of the complainers, the
Okay.
whiners. Is it proper to discuss the complaints at this time, or are we just on a construction permit?
Yeah, if you want to tell us about it, I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, does anyone have some objection about that? I guess I didn't word that very well.
I have some handouts. Would you like to go through them?
Well, except that, I mean, the conditional use permit's been approved.
Yes.
That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the construction permit.
Well,
If you have some issues with the construction.
no, I don't.
Okay,
It's on the conditional use permit.
because the conditional use permit was approved last July.
You can review it with the complaint.
The conditional use permit really hasn't been effect, the use of it. We're talking about the construction right now. Brittany?
The only concern that we had as staff with the conditional use permit is that there were two conditions of the conditional use permit. One was to get the construction permit, and two was to get the legal access through the DOT.
And
So
so those
those
have
were the
been-
only two conditions that kind of, where they applied to each other, the construction permit and the conditional use permit.
So it would probably be appropriate if Mr. Bolin has issues related to those two items, right?
Correct. Those are the two that pertain to this. Like I said, they didn't meet the condition because they didn't get the construction permit approved prior to the 10,000 square feet of disturbance. But in order for them to be into compliance with their CUP, they need you guys to approve their construction. So it's kind of a,
Well, I guess
situation.
I'm not very trustworthy of this, because obviously they're, 5-10 acres of, they went way over the 10,000.
Okay.
And they gotta go through a bunch of other hoops to get this approved. And
Yeah.
that's from the state DNRA or whatever it is.
DNR, yeah.
But I'd like to complain about the helipad being there and all the complaints. There's 5 or 6 landowners around there that do have issues with this. This was kind of snuck in on us last July
Okay.
of 14. And I'm not blaming anybody, because the only people notified were within 500 feet, which
Yep.
is the law.
Okay.
Well, the helicopter, I can hit a golf ball that far, there's a driving range and so forth. A helicopter affects a lot more than 500 feet of approval.
Yeah.
And so now we've come to light of this, and we'd like to review the conditional use permit for the helipad.
I could be wrong, I mean, you'll correct me, PJ, but the conditional use permit will not be effective until the use of the property is actually being used as what's in the conditional use permit?
I'd have to see the conditional use permit.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me.
So, yeah, I don't have it.
Yeah.
You have it? Yep.
items from the public?
Yeah, when we get there, if you want to go a little bit further into your.
Oh, okay.
So you think that's a more appropriate time for him to bring up this issue?
I believe it would be.
Okay, okay,
Okay, thank you.
okay. So, where did we end on this? Did I have a motion for this particular item from anyone for the construction permit? I don't think we had a motion for approval or denial. I think that's where we're at.
Madam Chair, I have some concerns about the fact that they have not, they said they were going to do their best management practices, but have not.
They have not, and as of, I did email DENR this morning, but as of Friday, they had not submitted their notice of intent for their stormwater permit for the state for disturbing more than an acre. They did get a letter sent to them by the peer office notifying them that they needed to do so. So, and I did send another letter to the applicant on the 17th of February regarding the lack of best management practices at the site.
And and then the applicant also is not here. Maybe he's busy working on his best management practices. Maybe that's why he's not here. Oh, that's what I guess I'd like to think, that, maybe he's working on that. If we don't approve this, what would that do to the work that's being done there?
They wouldn't be able to continue to disturb. He would still have to get his state permit regardless. He'd still have to stabilize it because it's been dormant for 14 days,
But he
probably
wouldn't be
closer
able
to
to do
21.
any additional work, right?
Right, he'd have to do the temporary stabilization of the site,
So we could continue this till the next
Yeah.
meeting.
if that's your wish.
Not approving it would maybe get his attention. I don't know if that's the appropriate thing to say, but
Or continuing it till he submits his notice of intent and stabilizes the site.
I recall this guy was a real go-getter and portrayed his application was well-organized and so forth when it came through.
yep.
Perhaps he's lost focus or something, I don't know. I would move we continue this until the next, at least the next meeting, and it may have to go beyond that, depending on whether,
I'll second the motion.
To the March 9th meeting?
sounds good.
It's 2 weeks. Go ahead, do you have anything further you want to say with discussion?
No, I think that what we've discussed sort of speaks for itself. There's some ambivalence and confusion here on the part of everybody, and I think the absence of the applicant compounds that, and it seems to me the most sensible thing is in view of the fact that the stabilization, he is obligated to do that without any action on our part, we need to continue this so that we might have some clarification on some of these issues.
Any other discussion? And Brittany, since we continue this, then you'll communicate that to the applicant, or you're not required to do that, or what happens?
Yes, I'll probably send him another notice, and I'll find out from DENR today if they had submitted their notice of intent. So I've been in contact with them. They had until today to submit their notice of intent to DENR.
Okay.
So,
You know, I'm not inclined to think that his CUP application is in great jeopardy necessarily. I mean, he went through all the hoops initially. There was an opportunity for landowners to be aware of this and bring their complaints. And, he sort of followed the letter of the law. But this confusion, I think, is incumbent upon us to perhaps pause here. And so I would move that, make a motion to the effect that we'd continue this till the March 9th meeting.
Yeah, we have a second, so I guess we can vote on it. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
thank you.
Okay, that would move us on to the county board report.
Item 15, the Board of Commissioners concurred with the Planning Commissioner's recommendations from the February 9th, 2015 Planning Commission meeting.
Okay. And we know we have items for the public. Mr. Bolin? I guess we just, this is, PJ was guiding me, this would be a more appropriate time for you to express your
I
issues.
guess, I got a bunch of material here. They have the complaints, which is from several people, and like to have the whole thing reviewed for an appropriate place for a helipad. And I can just have two comments. Where are my notes?
Sorry, I
Pardon?
didn't give you enough time to get ready.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, there was only, back in July, besides the applicant, there was only one person who approved this, or supported this. And it was Mr. Matt Jackson, a member of Sun Valley Estates.
Okay.
This is the same Matt Jackson who adamantly opposed the one on Highway 16 and Silver Mountain Road, and he lives over a mile away from this. All the complaining landowners are within, half mile, and there's several of them. Another thing, Mr. Bussey says this is a competitive with Rushmore Aerial out of Keystone. Mr. Bussey spoke, this is on the July meeting, spoke of the helicopters indicating their goal is not to create competition, but facilitate a relationship with current business owners and move some of those industries under one roof. I think this is a smokescreen to move Rushmore helicopters from Keystone up to this particular spot. The area is only 20 acres. He's doing the helicopter thing first. He can't do horse rides there. There's no place to go. He can't do ATVs there. There is no place to go. He can't do anything there. From the bottom of that helipad to the rest of the acreage above is like 80 feet if you walk it. Okay. And the helipad's going to take up a 300 by 500 foot, that's 3.5 acres on the bottom. So, and I got one other, you can pass this around, I have it in my pamphlet. Rushmore Heliport, who is out of Keystone, this is their website, is showing, I don't know if this is accurate, but he's showing his spot to be their summer place.
Oh, okay. Brittany, did you say that you do have the conditional use permit in front of you? Oh, okay, because I know I don't either.
No, I don't.
I would like to have the whole thing reviewed.
Okay.
I can pull it up. Let me see. Pull it up on here.
Like I say, I think it's a smokescreen. It's obvious, whoever did the dirt work knows it was more than 10,000 feet. And the guy who you say was right up front, Mr. Bussey, should know what's in his conditional use permit before he starts work.
Okay.
So what am I asking?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. I mean, your comments are in the record. Go ahead, BJ.
Usually no discussion on public comment, but I can tell you that a complaint triggers an automatic review.
Okay. Okay. So are you saying then that because there've been complaints on this construction permit, that it will automatically trigger a review of the conditional use permit? Is that what you're saying?
I believe the complaints were on the conditional use permit for the helipad, not for the construction permit.
Okay.
So it'll trigger the review of the conditional use permit.
Okay, so we'll be seeing that on our agenda
Absolutely.
in the future?
Yeah, it looks like it was. There's 14 conditions that this conditional use permit will be reviewed in 1 year or on a complaint basis.
Okay.
So that will generate a review.
Okay, so, the only thing I guess that's different than, someone calling into the office is you made your complaint here during the public portion of the meeting, right? Is that correct? Or are you saying that that the other complaints have triggered?
Once they were received in the office in paper, it
Oh.
didn't have to come in today and do it. It was-
Okay.
Yeah, that triggered the review.
Okay, all right, I understand that now.
So we can review the conditional use permit?
Yes, what PJ is saying is that the complaints triggered a review of the
That's what
conditional
I'm
use
asking.
permit, so it will be on a future agenda.
Thank you.
Yeah, and quite frankly, we need to I mean, it's good that Mr. Bowen raised this now before this young man invests a whole lot of money in a project that,
I feel sorry for him. He's a nice guy.
Okay.
I know people have done the, primal quest with him and so forth. He's quite an individual.
The whole idea about, when it gets on the agenda and, having to notice people within a certain radius,
Not for a review.
not for review though, yeah. So how, these people that have issues with that will just,
I have all their comments.
no, what I
Oh.
mean is, I'm assuming you're saying that you would like to come to the meeting when we're reviewing that.
Yes. Two of the complainants, one lives in Gillette,
Yeah,
and the other one lives in Arlington, Texas, and obviously they can't make it, but they really sent a nice letter stating the whole issue.
but you realize that you will not be mailed notice of this.
Oh, I'm on top of this.
I mean, you're gonna have to watch for, okay, that's what I just wanted.
I do this anyway.
Okay.
This is an interesting process,
Okay.
including your meetings.
Okay. All right, well, I just wanted to
Yeah.
clarify that.
I'll be on top of it.
Okay, all right.
But it'll be, what, a month or two from now, or next 19th?
I'd have to check with
Could be the
Brittany to
ninth.
see what she can do as far as getting in. It's
Okay.
usually not the next,
Yeah.
not necessarily the next meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you very
So it
much.
would be not through the 23rd or some future
Yes.
meeting. Okay. All right, any other items from the public, since there are no other public? Oh, unless you have something? No? Okay. Items from the staff.
Item A from staff is on the last county board meeting, the commissioners made a motion, and it was seconded to direct the planning department to look at the potential costs of adding building inspectors and how that would relate to the cost of building permits. So staff right now is still in the research process, sent out an email to all the state planning association members. I've personally met with the building inspector, division director from Rapid City, and also with Bill Rich out of Meade County. Just collecting data right now. There was no deadline on this, but it's not something we're going to have going on and on and on.
We've discussed this before.
Yes, yes.
I have to say, I'm really happy about this.
is there a timeline on this thing?
Not at this time, there is not.
Okay.
Research phase only.
Because it would evolve into an ordinance and all that kind of stuff.
There's a lot,
Funding,
there's a
lots
lot
of stuff
to it, yeah. Even just between Rapid City and Meade County, I mean, again, you got a municipality and a county or government. Huge, huge difference. One staff, there's one that has 2 staff doing it, another one's got 12 people and over $1 million budget,
Yep,
so.
Madam Chair.
yes.
My husband is a small contractor, and he's been compiling photographs of situations that he's found that are very dangerous, that would have potentially been forestalled by a building inspection program. So if you need photographic evidence, he can provide some.
Maybe down the line, right now, it's just what's going on, doing research of what's going on around us and in the state, and then delivering it back to the commissioners and seeing what they want to do as far as moving forward. There's been no specifics as to what extent this program would be yet,
A start is a start.
or as a start.
Any items from the membership? Oh, did you have something else?
It's not on the agenda, but we had made copies of a registration form for the 2015 Western South Dakota Hydrology meeting on the 15th, with possible field seminars and trips on the 16th. If any of the planning commissioners or board of commissioners are interested in going, and just get in touch with Jerry by the end of the week, correct? You want it by Friday? So she can get you in and registered. And there is an agenda on page 3, if it's from the double-sided. If there's nothing else on that, I have nothing further.
Items from the membership, I guess I'd like to apologize for not leading the meetings as smoothly as Sig does, so you'll all appreciate when he returns.
I think you did fine.
That's all I have. But we did get done before 10, so,
I think you did a good job.
well, it's a bit long, so.
Commissioner?
Did you have something?
In terms of items from the membership, earlier we talked to the lady about cleaning up her property, the mess, construction deal. And I don't know if there's anybody complaining, but other than it coming to bear on her application. And I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I had a call from Rapid Valley and concerned about all the vehicles parked in and on property and on the right-of-way. And I drove down there and looked at it, and it's pretty well crowded on that property and then along the road. But the end result was that there's nothing in the ordinance to enforce any compliance of any kind by the property owner. And then you look at an application for a home business or home occupation, and in it says you shall have 2 18-foot parking spaces and that sort of thing, and keep the property free of debris and this and this and this. And it seemed like there's a big hole in the regulations if the enforcement officer has no power to say to the guy, you got to get those vehicles off the street, or you've got too many on your property. Just seemed like an inconsistency to me.
So this is a single-family residence, you're saying, that just has a lot of vehicles and a lot of stuff?
Oh, yeah, there was, I think, 3 Jeep Wagoneers parked along the road between the fence and the hard surface. And then there was an old horse trailer, a boat and a trailer, some more vehicles in the yard. And the only requirement is that the vehicles be licensed and operable. I didn't check the license plates, but I know the tires were flat on a couple of them sitting along the road.
And so you're saying that we should encourage that guy to start a home business? That's what you're saying, right?
Either allow the home business to have more parking places, something, but be consistent, I guess, is my point.
Is there any way that you can, the lot that Lindell is talking about, is there just a general nuisance kind of thing that you can cite?
I believe the issue that came up is that they're in the right-of-way,
Oh,
and
okay.
even the sheriff department wouldn't touch it. But it's
Is
not,
there-
doesn't mean that there's nothing that we could do looking forward as far as having some type of leverage in a situation like this.
I mean, because I would hate to look out my front door and see a car lot, basically, vehicles on in a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every once in a while, people have 1 or 2 people coming over and maybe the cars sit there, but, every day. And it sounds like there's a lot of stuff.
That's correct.
Madam Chair? I think on our list, on our big, long to-do list, the definition of nuisance is on that list. And if we could, make some suppositions about the number of vehicles that would be allowed, I don't know, that might be worth looking at.
I'll add it to the list, or as a sub-item to the nuisance list. List gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Any further discussion on that? Any other items from the membership? I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.